How's it going, Preston Outdoors fans? Welcome back to another video. I'm your host here, Ethan Preston, and today's video we're continuing on our section of making your homemade jigs. And last time you saw the video, if you haven't seen it already, the link will be in the description or popping up on a card here or something like that. We made some brush jigs, okay? Some plain Jane brush jigs. Now this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I paint the brush jigs, and then we're going to apply the brush guard itself. So some of the tools of the trade here that you're going to need to be able to paint your brush jigs and add your own brush guards. First, you're going to need a heat source to warm these jigs up. I have a propane tank here with a little blowtorch adapter that you put on there. Attach it, open it up, and we got heat. Okay, so you're going to need some paint. This is what I have. It's Protect powder paint. Once your heat source warms up your jig, we're going to dip them inside here, bang off the extra paint, and then that powder melts around the jig and actually paints it itself. Another thing you're going to need or something is some kind of rack to put your jigs in the oven. This I got this idea from Milliken Fishing. Watch one of his videos, and all this is 3 pieces of wood. I'm not much of a carpenter. As you can see, it's not straight. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 holes on one side, 7 holes on the other side with 2 screws, and these 3 pieces of wood just makes a stand. This is what I'm going to put in my convectional oven, or you can use some kind of rack system to hold them, and then I space the holes out separately so that they don't stick together and the paint doesn't mess them up. So you're going to need something like that. Also, from Milliken's video, we're going to use a drill. Once I paint these jigs, I'm going to let them dry, and then you find the same size drill bit here that fits the size of weed guard or the size of head. I believe these are 1/8 inch. The hole in the jig head that will fit a weed guard. We're going to put this sucker in here. We're going to drill it out, drill out the paint once it dries, so that way when we bake these, they don't harden in there and make it really difficult to get out. Okay, obviously next you're going to need some brush guards, weed guards. These you can get at Do It Molds. I can't remember what size. This is Lorpart FG-30B brush guards. That's the style brush guards I have on here. All this stuff you can buy at doitmolds.com. Today we're going to be painting green pumpkin. This color is watermelon pepper. It's just like a green pumpkin with, I think, maybe a little black flake in there. So all these jig heads that we're going to be coloring are going to be this color. We're going to preset this sucker to, oops, if I can get it right, 300 degrees. Okay, we're going to preheat the oven before we start anything else. That way when we're ready and the paint is already painted on the jigs and we're ready to go, this thing will be ready to go. We don't have to wait around for it. Alright, powder paint. Open that up. There we go. Another trick I should say I like to do is I'll take a hook and I'll just soften it up here. After about 2 or 3 of them, what I'm going to do is you get it hot, you stick it in here, and then you tap it out like this. Okay, when you dunk a few times, it gets hard. It kind of compacts the powder down. So that way, when you go dunk one of the jigs when it's hot, the powder doesn't get all over the next jig head. So after about 2 or 3, I'll just take the hook and I'll go like this, and I'll kind of scoop it up on a different jig, and that way it's nice, light, and fluffy and ready to go. The trick here is to get this jig hot, but to not melt the lead, because I've done that when I first started this. I got it too hot, I melted the lead, and it just disforms and kind of makes your whole jig not worth it. So paint here, tap it out, and there you have it. And if it's not dark enough for you, you can heat it back up. Let's see, this right side's a little bit lighter, so I'm going to heat it back up quick. Kind of pop that in there. Boom. We got a painted jig. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook it over here on this hook hanger, and that one's going to sit there and is Gonna dry for us nicely. Alright, now that these things have dried a little bit, okay, what we're gonna do, there's now paint inside the hole where the weed guard's supposed to go. So what I'm gonna do, I told you before, you're gonna need a drill bit that fits inside there. That one's not gonna fit very well because it's got paint in there, but here's one that's unpainted. Okay, find one that's gonna fit. I think it's 1/8 of an inch. These ones are. Fits in there really, really well. It's not going to be too big to where it bores out a new hole. Okay, so what we're going to do here, it's all clogged up in there. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's clogged up in there. Okay, now it's all cleaned out. That one came out really, really easy. A lot of times there's more paint and stuff in there. So what I do is I normally take a weed guard. Here, it's more light. I'm going to take a weed guard and I'm going to put it in there just to see if it'll fit. Okay, that fits nicely. Sometimes if you don't bore it out enough, a piece of this weed guard will hit on the head and it doesn't feel like it just slides in there well enough. So that's kind of how I measure it. Okay, that one's good and clean. Okay, then I'll go on to the next one. It's all full in there. Now this one is green pumpkin, so you'll see pieces of paint and green pumpkin kind of coming out of the head. That's the paint coming out. You don't need to push real hard. And then once I see a little like metal shavings come out, then I know I've got all the way down to it. Here we go. That one fits perfectly. Okay, you can see the weed guard's kind of just sitting in there the way it's supposed to. So that one's good and clean. And then I'm going to do this to about the rest of them. I think there's 3 left. So we've got all these drilled out and painted. They're painted and drilled out, ready to go. Now we're going to take this whole wood mechanism here and we're going to go put this in the oven at 300 degrees. Put our wood mechanism in there with the jigs, and then we put 20 minutes on the clock and bake them for 20 minutes. Alright, so we just took the jigs out of the oven. Now what I'm gonna do here, I've done this the last couple batches. You don't necessarily have to do this. Take them out, let them cool a little bit, and then I'm gonna put them back in the oven for another 20 minutes. That's gonna make the paint secure even more if you're worried about chipping. Alright, now we got our board out here from taking it out of the oven. The jigs have cooled down, and now we're going to take super glue. This is just Gorilla super glue, and we are going to put the super glue inside the brush guard hole there, and then we're going to insert our brush guards, hold them till it dries a little bit, pull it out, and then I'm going to set them on top of the board to dry. Just about all the way to the top, just like that. And then we take our brush guard here, insert, just like that, and now put it on the board and let it dry. Another thing you need to do, you get them in there, but you want to make sure the weed guard and the hook line up. Sometimes I've done this before where you get it in there and then the weed guard is off each side, and that's going to get you snagged. So I always try and make sure you look straight down the hook, straight down the weed guard, and they line up straight. So there you have it. Here we have 2 of our brush jigs with the weed guard or brush guard super glued in there. I'm going to let them dry. Like I said, I'm going to let them dry overnight here. Make sure they're strong and secured. It's not the warmest here in my garage right now. So it'll take a little bit longer for the super glue to harden. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, next time we're going to be talking about how we take a jig. We made a jig into this in video number 1. Video number 2, we made a jig into here. And then in video number 3, I'm going to talk to you about how I skirt my jigs. Very simple process and different combination stuff you can do to get the final product. So I want to thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment below with questions and comments, and tune in next time to Preston Outdoors.